clients initially came to me with a book on Danish vacation houses or summer houses, which they fell in love with when staying in Europe, and it was a perfect opportunity for me to explore the Australian vernacular combined with a European approach to living seasonally in the West Australian countryside. The form and the material of the house responded directly to the idea of the Australian shed. It's a kind of a reinterpretation of that into a kind of muscular, angled, sculpted form, almost weathered like a stone sitting in the landscape, and it sort of becomes a kind of a found object, if you like. There's basically two pavilions, one which incorporates the living, dining, kitchen and master suite, and the rear pavilion, which is the private sort of service, bathroom, laundry pavilion. And between that there is a threshold space which forms the entry and a carport vestibule. The way light enters and exits a building is extremely important in the work that we do, and placement of the windows was an important consideration in the overall design and planning of the house. It was really important to maximise the northerly aspect of the glazing, to really maximise that solar gain in winter, because Margaret River does get quite cold in winter time. The windows to the south and to the east and west are protected, and they're much more like punched openings, and those openings tend to frame the views quite well, so the views into the bush are framed views, except for the large expanse of glass that we put in the shower. And where we want the materiality of the structure to disappear, we wrap the glass around corners and use a frameless detail, which really helps to open up the volume between inside and out. The spotted gum is one of the few species listed in the Australian standards on bushfire-prone regions, which you can use for this category of bushfire zone. So that was a good local Australian species that had the right colouring that we were after, referencing the use of Danish teak in furniture. A bushfire protection system was incorporated into the envelope right from the beginning. It discreetly disappears but is able to protect the house. The framing system chosen, like the steel cladding to the exterior, is non-flammable and robust, and with the associated fire screening is able to withstand the bushfire risk that we've got on this site. The colour of the frame was also important. It obviously goes with the woodland grey of the corrugated trim deck, and as a whole the project sought to recede into the bush rather than to announce itself. It's completely self-sufficient. 5 kilowatts of photovoltaic panels on the roof of the shed power the house, and the rainwater is collected for use in the garden as well as through the house, and the waste black and grey water goes into a nutrient recovery system that reticulates into the surrounding garden. I think that this house, with its use of timber and the way it sits in the landscape and lets the occupants look out and appreciate its surroundings, and the fact that it's very finely crafted is reflective of the Danish approach to design, where nothing is really superfluous. Everything has a reason for existence, but it's just done simply and elegantly.